All right, let's get to the football. And I said I'm going to be positive. I don't know that I can, to be honest with you. And this isn't like about me and Rich and positivity and the Jets. It was hard to watch the Jets last night and be positive moving forward. Let's say hats off to the Chargers first. They won despite only 136 yards passing and a passer rating, if that's your thing, of 65 from Justin Herbert. But they won, and they got to 4-4, and they have a huge game with the Lions coming up on Sunday here in L.A. Jared Goff back at SoFi. Man, that's a big game. The Lions are well rested, but if the Chargers D-line can do what they did last night, this coming Sunday at one local here, the Chargers are looking at 5-4, and they are very much in the playoff conversation in the AFC. Again, they won on the road with 136 yards passing and less than 200 yards of offense. Good job. They won because they sacked Zach Wilson 8 times. Khalil Mack had 2. Joey Bosa had 2.5. Tuli Tuipulotu, the rookie, the second-round pick from USC, who could very well be your defensive rookie of the year, he got after it as well, had multiple sacks. His first multiple sack game. You want a crazy one? This is the first time Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa had sacks in the same game since week 1 of a year ago, their very first game together. So that idea of that killer pass rush from either side, it hadn't happened really until last night because of a lot of reasons. Most notably health, but they were healthy. They got after it last night. They got after a bad Jets offensive line. One that they shuffled a little bit last night to put the veteran Aaron Rodgers, former teammate from Green Bay, Billy Turner at right tackle, and it did not go well. It went quite poorly. Zach Wilson held the ball far too long. There are a couple of plays where you say you can't take a sack there, and he took a sack, including multiple times in the red zone on one drive, consecutive plays with sacks. Another time, knocked out of field goal range. However, you look at the all-22, on some of those sacks, you go, well, where's he supposed to throw the ball?
True.
He started off way too hot, and by hot, I mean inaccurate, too much gas on the ball.
Yeah, airmail.
Airmailing guys, getting guys almost killed. The disdain and the disgust in the voice of Troy Aikman, palpable.
Not exactly being subtle there, Troy.
You can also taste it. Down the stretch after the game was over and they were putting together a garbage yardage drive that had many people, as Brent Musburger would say, our friends in Vegas on the edges of their collective seats.
It was a sweat last night, Andrew.
At one point, Troy Aikman says, again, like 40 seconds to go, they get into the red zone. Oh, don't look now. Zach's heating up. Don't go anywhere. It ain't over. And again, this is Troy, not me.
It was definitely Troy.
I'd rather step back and just ask the question, who are they and where are they if this is what you're going to get at quarterback? I know what Dan Orlovsky and Daniel Jeremiah have said, and they both banged the table. I love them. They know more football than me. They both banged the table fairly hard last week that Wilson has been playing pretty well. Last night was not one of those games. And they fall to 4-4. Listen to what Robert Saleh said after the game.
Was this a step back for Zach, Robert?
I don't know if you could say step back. You know, there's, like I said, it's all encompassing. Like, you know, obviously he's going to want some things that he wishes he could have done better. You know, from protection to it's just a little bit of everything. It's just one of those bizarre games. It just every time we had momentum. Like I said, just a self-inflicted wound. Was it his best game? Obviously not. Was it his worst game? No, I'm not going to say it was even close to his worst game. But I think the entire offense, obviously, we all could have been better.
All right, so the context there on that last line, I'm not going to say it was even close to his worst game. You heard what prefaced it. Was it his best game? No. Was it his worst game? No. I'm not going to say it's even close to his worst game. I tweeted that second part out last night without the preface and the full context, and it kind of went viral for a minute. I think the full context there is important. But if that's not even close to his worst game, then that really is your problem. It is. And I thought, and let's give her credit, that Jamie Erdahl, our friend on Good Morning Football today, made a great point. The 3-game winning streak was great for the Jets. It got everyone excited. It got them in the playoff conversation here. However, was it false hope before the trade deadline? And would they have been better served trying to get a Josh Dobbs, trying to get a Jake Brisket, Jacoby Brissett out of Washington, trying to get a Ryan Tannehill?
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to make that noise anymore. Yes, Jameis Winston has more starting experience and is better than Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Period, full stop.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know why I'm even considering pushing back on that.
There's a lot of pushback on him for some weird reason, but
I think people have decided on Jameis, and he's not a starter in their eyes, and just they're dismissive because, eating W's and some of his other stuff. I think it's unfair to him. I think he's not the immature kid that came into this league. I think he's grown far beyond that, and I think he does deserve another chance to start. Is he going to take your team to the playoffs? I don't know. Is he better than Zach Wilson? Absolutely. Yes. Anyway, that said, they won 3 in a row. They have a great defense. You know what? Their defense got to Justin Herbert 5 times last night. Their defense forced a couple of fumbles that they just couldn't fall on. Like the ball didn't bounce their way. Darius Davis, who had the punt return early, also muffed one late, but then he fell on it. Like there are all these little breaks that the Jets could have gotten last night that they didn't get.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.